This is ANN News Brief.
International and regional leaders in the West African Sahel region have agreed to intensify military campaign against jihadists. Militant attacks in the region have increased over the last 2 years, especially in the border regions of Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali, where local authorities have been overrun. The decision follows a one-day summit on Tuesday hosted in the Mauritanian capital, Nouakchott. President of Burkina Faso, Chad, Mali, Mauritania, Niger, as well as France and Spain were in attendance. The leaders agreed on the need to intensify the fight on all fronts by national and international forces against terrorist groups. French President Emmanuel Macron said victory over the jihadists was within grasp. Thousands of French troops have been helping in the countries in the region since 2013 to counter insurgencies. Zimbabwe says it will partially reopen its tourism industry, one of those worst affected during a 3-month-long COVID-19 lockdown. Zimbabwe's economy relies heavily on international tourism, which generates close to $1 billion from the more than 2 million tourist arrivals each year. National parks, local safari and hunting operations are now allowed to reopen. Industry players will now focus on reviving domestic tourism as borders still remained closed except for returning residents. Restaurants previously allowed only to serve takeaway meals will now be allowed to serve sitting customers at only half of their licensed capacity. Zimbabwe has so far recorded 605 COVID-19 cases and 7 deaths. We'll be right back.
We are on the road every day, canvassing throughout Africa for news you really need. We follow this story everywhere, from every corner of Nigeria to the wide African expanse. We bring you what's making headlines. We connect you with news you can use. ANN, African News Network, in a truly African spirit.
Gabon's government has said on Wednesday European tourists and business travelers would not be granted visas as retaliation for being placed on the list of countries banned from visiting European Union countries. The European Union reopened its borders on Wednesday to leisure and business travel from 14 non-European countries based on their success in containing the coronavirus. The list was approved by a majority of European Union member states on Tuesday. In response to its exclusion, Gabon's foreign ministry instructed diplomatic missions to deny tourist visas to citizens of EU member states when Gabon's air borders reopened on Wednesday. Gabonese Foreign Affairs Ministry said it had applied the principle of reciprocity. Gabon has recorded nearly 5,500 COVID-19 cases, including 42 deaths, one of the higher rates in Central Africa. The European Union has excluded countries whose containment of the virus is considered worse than its own average. The United States, Nigeria, Russia, Brazil, and Turkey are on the list. That is ANN News Brief at 11. For details on these and other breaking stories, visit our website, annafrica.news. Conversation continues on our social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at ANN Africa TV. I'm Lucy Adeyemi.